You tell me when you're set.
Okay, ready to go.
Welcome back to Sports Talk Weekly, and today we have a special guest. I said to some of my friends, you know, I'll be interviewing one guy. His name's Ric Flair. They said one thing. Woo!
All right.
Woo! Oh, where did that come from? When did you start doing that?
The first time I heard the record, Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis. So I got it, truthfully.
Yeah?
Yeah, I probably started doing that in about 1968.
Now, that's something you've done all
I
through
was
your
a
career.
junior in high school, yeah.
Why wrestle? Why pick this career? Obviously, it's, you know, it's set your family up, but a lot of these guys right now, you know, there's tons of little independent leagues that, you know, they'll be there forever. Why did you pick this?
Why did I pick wrestling as a career? Well, I was playing football at University of Minnesota, and just quite honestly, I became academically ineligible. Ended up sitting around for a year and trying to decide what I wanted to do. And I was at that time pretty close friends with a young man by the name of Greg Gagne, whose father was Vern Gagne, one of the great legends of our sport. And at that time, not only a promoter, but the reigning AWA World Heavyweight Champion. And through a process of time and getting to meet Vern and all that, Vern agreed to train me at the same time that he was training Chris Taylor, who was an Olympian, and Ken Patera, who also was an Olympian, and several other guys. We all started together in 1973 and spent a year with them, and then I moved to Charlotte in 1974 and never looked back.
And St. Louis is a town where, I mean, wrestling is one of the hot spots. You guys know about the Chase.
The hottest spot. Sure, I wrestled at the Chase.
Talk about those days, because a lot of people from St. Louis say, well, the wrestling at the Chase days were the best.
It was phenomenal. It was just it was a live show that was produced on Sunday morning at the Chase, and it's hard to explain the evolution of wrestling, but I mean, some of the greatest stars to ever come along, from Dick the Bruiser to Pat O'Connor, Lou Thez. I mean, every big name player came through here, and Bill Longston and Wilbur Snyder, Vern Gagne. When I first started, they always said that if you ever wanted to be a marquee guy and be considered a big player, you had to headline a card at the Kiel Auditorium, which meant you were wrestling at the Chase, because that's how the two worked together.
Talk about your work on the mic. Mm-hmm. I mean, was that something that you knew that if I'd work on the mic, that people will get to know me a lot better? Because I think right now people know the sayings that you have. I mean, to be the best, you got to be the best. I mean, the sayings that you say.
Yeah, quite honestly, I just came by that naturally. I've never worked on the mic at all. You know, sometimes when I'm driving on the road, I think about things I might say on TV, but I play off the crowd, and if the crowd is hot, it energizes me, and you know, that's basically how I get where I'm going.
What about being the president? How's that working out?
That's great. It worked out great. I never anticipated it happening, but the feud between Bischoff and I was so close and so real that you know, when it did come down, it became a real big opportunity for me. I like it. And
how? I mean, being a champion, what does that mean? I mean, 14 times. That's just something that every time you don't have it, you got to think about it, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I hadn't even, you know, considered myself, you know, interested in being a champion. It wasn't something I was focused on, but when I got more involved again, and it's just hard not to want to be the best. You know, when I actually lost about 15 pounds body weight and really started training hard again and got real focused, and I'm as active right now and probably as intense right now and probably as motivated right now as I've ever been. So they all work hand in hand.
Talk about, we'll do these real quick. Favorite opponent and guy you hate to wrestle. Your favorite and the guy you hate.
Well, my favorite opponent right now would probably be, gosh, there's 2 or 3 guys that I can really burn the joint down with. But Sting, usually when I wrestle Sting, you know, I don't mind. I'm class right now. I'm wrestling Hogan a fair amount and enjoy wrestling him. The best opponent I've ever had in my life would be a guy named Ricky Steamboat. But I had a lot of great matches with Harley Race, who's the Kansas City guy, and least favorite opponent, guy, there's about 14 guys who used to beat me on a regular basis, so I guess it's hard to pick out one.
It's 14. And I got to ask you, can you pick
13.
Talk about the 3 favorite lines. What are your 3 favorite lines that you've, and I don't know
if you... To be the man, baby, you got to beat the man, and right now I'm the man. I am a limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun that has kissed all the girls in St. Louis and made them cry. How much do you want to hear? Girls, there isn't one of you that could be first, but any number of you could be next. I don't know. What else do you want to hear?
You could go on for
Yeah,
hours and I
got
could
too
listen to
many.
this. Actually, the co-host of this show is even a bigger wrestling fan than me. He bought a tape that's 2 hours, not you wrestling, it's you doing interviews. I mean, that's what people think about. Talk about the Trans World Dome, May 9th, Slamboree
be
pay-per-view
huge.
comes back to St. Louis.
Yeah, it's actually the first pay-per-view we've had here, if I'm not mistaken, probably since 1989, when we were still at the Keel. And last time we were here, we had about 34,000 people. And you know, as I said, St. Louis is just a great wrestling town to be in. But people love wrestling, and they respect wrestling. They respect the ability that the guys bring to the ring. And WCW right now is on a huge roll. I would not be surprised if we didn't have 50,000 plus. So tomorrow morning when the tickets go on sale, if I wanted to see the guys up close, I'd get down there and start buying them right away, because it'll be a huge event.
Rick, you've brought many of great days as a child and all the way through here. I'm glad how long are we going to do this? So you got a timetable? Or?
I did, but I don't anymore. I actually, my timetable, I've eclipsed it three times now. I was going to quit when I was 40, then I was going to quit when I was 45, then I was going to quit when I was 50, so, you know. I really don't have a timetable. I feel great, and as long as it's working for me here, you know, physically I feel great. As long as it's working for me here, I'll stay involved.
Rick, thank you very much. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. We're going to
Thanks
take
a
a
lot.
break and we'll be back.